Cool.
All right, folks, it is Monday night. We're kicking off the week with a fucking doozy here. I got Connor Christian from the Southern Gothic. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I
All right.
noticed that. Is that a record player in the background? Because that's tight.
Yeah, man. It's my vertical record player, and got a little silver special edition Nirvana
Hey,
Nevermind.
there you go. Nice little
Yeah.
collection. This is sponsored by a record store, this podcast, so I always like to see that. Nice
Oh,
work.
well, yeah. If you want to have a look, there's the whole collection down
Holy
there.
jumping.
Yeah, man. My dad was a radio DJ in his younger days.
Okay.
Finally, after moving around the world for 30 years, my mom said, I'm going to throw these away if one of you doesn't come get them. So I took a flight down to Texas and brought all the records back. So
You did the right thing.
of course I did.
What's your favorite one in that stack? Favorite two?
And it's tough to say. There's an original Sam Cooke live at the Harlem Square Club.
Nice.
I love that one. And I just got it's a reissue of Tumbleweed Connection by Elton John with like
Nice.
Coke bottle green vinyl. It's
Oh.
real cool, man. I love it.
Perfect. That's deadly. Awesome, man. So what's going on? You said before we popped on here, you said to say how you're doing all these interviews in Australia, all over the place. You're getting some
Yeah, man.
hype, right? That's good.
Yeah, we're trying. It's it's been a while since we put out any music, and so anybody that has 5 minutes, an hour, half a day to talk to me about it, I'm excited to be there and spreading the word.
Have you ever talked to someone for half a day about it?
Sometimes you got those real slow interviews every once in a while. It feels like a half a day. But it's like my favorite is when people give you a list of questions, which is kind of unusual. They're like, tell you, well, here's like what we're gonna cover, you're like, cool, and then you look up and it's been 45 minutes and you haven't gotten to the second one. You're still on the first one. You're like, woohoo, this is going to be a doozy. And then they try to cram all the last seven questions in at once. They're like, how can I ask these all at one time?
Yeah.
So but no, I mean, really, I'm happy to be here, happy to be in Australia, happy to be in UK, and man, it's a big world out there, and it's crazy to just try to play for the people in your hometown or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Well, rest assured, I don't write questions down. I just talk to people. So
yeah,
no worries there. But I guess my first question is, what got you into music? When did you get started doing this?
Man, it's weird. As far back as I can remember, I don't ever remember there being like a second option, a plan B in my head. When I got married years back, my mom gave my wife this little book of all this artwork that I'd done as a kid, just like, because we didn't know each other as kids. We grew up in different places. And so anyway, just, something cute she gave her. And then on the first page, there's a piece of colored paper folded in half, and it says, Miss Lombardi's first grade class, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you open it, and I've drawn myself with a microphone. Said, I'm going to be a singer. I'm going to take Michael Jackson's place. I don't know what that means, but I was pretty sure, at 6 years old that's what the plan was. So I'm pretty stubborn, so I'm still sticking with it all these years later.
Oh boy, good for you, man. That's cool. I heard the song "Past Midnight," I believe is what it was called.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I'm not wrong. Yes, good. Okay, I like that tune. Admittedly, I'm not a huge country guy. I should be, because I live in like country town, big time.
Yeah.
But there's too much what I would call shitty country music. Yours is not that. I like yours. Yours is good country
well, thank
music.
you.
So how did that song come about?
I've had a lot of years off after the last record. We had the record that did real well for us.
Sorry, was that 2013? The last record?
It was, yeah. So that was when we had all the success, and we were out with everybody from between about 2011 through 2015, and then just kind of ran out of gas after that. We'd had like a series of tragedies that had befallen us. It's like everybody's story, right? It's nothing special, but I was just tired, and I moved up to Nashville. I had an opportunity to come here and write songs for somebody else for not just another person, but write for a company that, you know, get your songs out to other artists. And I felt like it was the time, man. And I did it, and I came up here, and that's been going well. And over the years I've collected, you know, since I moved here, I've collected this group of songs that, you know, before now I've always written songs that were like my voice, that were for me. And over these past few years I write for other people, but every once in a while I'll write one and be like,
I'm keeping them.
if nobody cuts that one, I'm gonna do that one. That one sounds like me. That one feels like me. And this one, it sounded real different when we started with it. You know, it was a couple of acoustic guitars, but we knew it was gonna be like this because Keith, one of the two guys I co-wrote this song with, he's a big K-pop producer. He's always got something in the top 10, you know, on iTunes International, and you know, he'd won a couple of or had a couple of number ones with Charlie Wilson, who you know was in Snoop Dogg's band, and then the Gap band before that. And so we knew he was going to bring something like that to it. But Keith, he lulls you into this you know, kind of false sense of rock and roll security, because he'll come in and it doesn't matter, like there's, you know, 100 guitars on the walls here and all my keyboards and drum sets, and Keith comes in and plays it all like a master. So we had this, you know, real chill acoustic guitar song, the three of us singing it, and a day later he sends me this fully finished demo, and it's like, you know, all this like pop craziness, and I was like, wow, that's cool, man. And so then I took that back home to my rock and roll band, and I said, hey guys, what would it sound like if a rock band did this, did this really poppy kind of country thing? And that's what we came up with, man. So it was just everybody's style and everybody's ideas kind of just, you know, melted into one weird little 2.5 minute song.
I love that. That's a good tune, like I said. And now you're working on an EP as well.
Yeah, EP is out December 4th. So
December 4th,
you know, coming up in just a few days here. So that's been done. We're gonna once that's out there and in the ether, we're gonna push one more song from the record called Villain. That's a lot more of a you know, it's like a big kind of stadium rock kind of vibe to that one. It's still, you know, it's still country as far as isn't everything country now, you know? But you know, and it's funny, I look around and there's just, you know, having grown up in the 80s and 90s and even the aughts, man, like there were big rock bands that were filling stadiums, and there's no rock bands anymore, man. There's like 5. You've got, Imagine Dragons, and you got Foo Fighters, who are 100 years old. You've got maybe Kings of Leon and Ex-Ambassadors, and then Muse, and then who else? There's nobody. There's no other.
That's a really good point, actually. That's really good.
So you know, if you were looking back at the 80s, you know, Jason Aldean would be Def Leppard, and Eric Church would be Bon Jovi, and actually Bon Jovi's still Bon Jovi. So never mind that. But yeah, but you know, like that's what country is now. It's like that 80s like glam rock scene. That's country. It's like a different. It's like a different costume that everybody's dressing up in, instead of the Aquanet and the, you know, tight leather pants, whatever. Now it's, now it's the painted on jeans and the, you know, the Hank Jr. shirt, or Hank Sr. shirt, or whatever it is, you know, but it's just a different way. You know, it's the same thing from 1985. It's just a different, way of doing it. So, I've always been in rock bands, and you know, this is where rock lives now. So this is where I live.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I can respect it for sure. That's awesome. And I just want to go back a little bit. You're talking about how now you write songs for people. Do you find that you get more out of your song if you write it with, like, say you go into it writing a song thinking, I'm going to write this one for me, versus, you know, I'm going to write this one and they can just whatever. What do you prefer? Do you get more satisfaction out of writing just for yourself, or knowing that you've given another artist a potential hit?
Man, it's tough to say which one I like more. They're real different feelings when I'm writing something for me, even if it starts as something I wrote for somebody else, it's a much longer process, you know. When I write it for somebody else, it's 2, 3, 4 hours in a room with, you know, one or two other dudes or ladies here in Nashville, and we write it, and then I pass it on. And you know, if somebody cuts it, they cut it, and I stop thinking about it. With the exception that, you know, Nashville is great for people. You know, there's a lot of opportunities not outside of COVID for, you know, the songwriters to actually get out and play their songs. Right. So, you know, if you have something that's particularly strong, then you know, like that stays with you and you remember how to play that song. But, you know, I mean, in the past, you know, let's say before COVID started, because writing slowed down a bunch, the previous 2 years, I probably wrote 300 songs in those, you know, in those 2 years. And, wow. You know, most of the time I couldn't name them until somebody cuts it and I hear it a bunch of times.
I wrote that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even like, it was weird. We were listening, my wife and I were listening to the radio the other night, and or, you know, Spotify or whatever it was, and this Dawes song came on, and Suzanne's like, she's like, that sounds just like one of your songs. And I'm like, well, to be fair, I'm sure my song sounds just like this song, you know, but I was like, which song are you talking about? And she told me, and I was like, you know, she told me the name of it, and I was like, nothing, doesn't ring a bell. So, yeah, she's like, I'm like, how long ago? She's like, I don't know, a year and a half ago. So I like get out my iPhone, I start flipping through the notes, get back to a year ago, and she told me the title, and she was like one word off. And then I was like, oh, you know, this, and then we typed in the right title, and there it is. And sure enough, we bring it up, and sure enough, it's like a dead ringer for that Dawes song. So I was like, you know, that happens. But you know, I don't get too attached to those anymore. And when I write something that I not only feel as strong, but also feel like could be sung in my voice, then, you know, that goes into a little different folder. I'm like, okay, we'll put this out there, and if somebody cuts it, great, but if they don't, I'm going to come back to this one. Yeah. You know, and every month or two you get one of those where you're just like, oh, that could do something, that could be something.
So how long, like when you so you basically write these songs, submit it to like a big song pool essentially, right, that guys can pick from and they can cut it if they want, type thing.
Sort of. Yeah, so there's like publishing houses here. Right. You know, there's big ones and small ones, and you know, I go to work at the publishing house, and when I get something done, you know, give it to you know, the guy who's, you know, kind of in charge of sorting through everybody's songs, and you know, I'll give them everything I wrote for the week, and they'll get back, you know, every week or 2 weeks and say, this one's strong, but this one is a good fit for so-and-so who's looking for songs. Can you flesh this one out? So then I'll take that song back, bring it here to the, you know, to the little home studio, and you know, usually with my co-writers, you know, a lot of them are a little faster than me with the, you know, coming up with the tracks. Just like, you know, they can lay a drum track down and loop it in no time, you know, and I'm still a little slower. So anyway, they'll tell you what they want you to demo out, and you demo it out, and then they take it and pitch it, and they've got the relationships, or that's what you hope when you sign with them. That's the, you know, that's how they say is like, well, I've got relationships with so and so, and that's how you make your decision where to work and what have you. So yeah, so that, and then they pitch it, and you hope it gets cut, man. Sometimes it does. Most of the time it doesn't.
That's awesome.
Doesn't matter who you are. That's the bottom line. Even if you're the Nashville's most successful songwriter, still most of the time it doesn't.
That sucks. You guys work hard. That's kind of cool that you've got both ends of the spectrum, right? Because you're your own musician, but you're also a musician for other people. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, man. You know, and you know, I a lot of times I kind of like have these daydreams about like, you know what? I just want to, like, you know, take the stress off, and I want to go out and be the piano player for this guy, or the guitar player for this guy. But the problem is I've always been the singer. And so to be the singer, I've learned to play piano pretty well, and guitar pretty well, and drums and whatever else. But I'm not to the level of Nashville player where I could actually be somebody's piano player.
Oh,
you know, it's like when I'm playing myself, it's like, you know, really good, people are into it. But, you know, if I went into another situation where they were just like, do this, I wouldn't have the skills to, you know, because you know, the other piano players in town, they've been playing since they were 2 years old. They were never the singer. They were never worried about being in the singer. They practiced playing piano.
Piano was their shit.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, and you do meet the rare cat that like, you know, they play guitar and mandolin and banjo and all this stuff. My bass player Quinn Loggins is like that, man. That guy is a monster. You know, he's really one of the best drummers I know. When we recorded the record, we were kind of in the middle of transitioning from one guitar player to another. And Quinn's just such an incredible guitar player that he just, you know, ripped all the solos and did all that stuff and, you know, played all the guitar, you know, so we didn't even need to worry about, you know, when we were bringing Yanni in and he was getting used to the material, but we were already kind of, you know, had already finished 3/4 of the record.
Right.
You know, Yanni was like, you know what, Yanni, just get the solos. That's like, you know, he's such a ridiculous lead player. Like, man, you get the solos. Quinn's got all the other stuff. And even Quinn had finished some of the solos by the time Yanni got in there. So, you know, I'm lucky to have two guitar players that amazing. But Quinn is, you know, he's a good everything player and he's a ridiculous songwriter to top it all off. So, you know, he keeps me, he pushes me hard all the time, which is great.
That's good. No breaks, no mercy.
Yeah,
go.
man.
That's what you need though. That's what you want.
Yeah,
for sure. So tell me what the name, the Southern Gothic, because I fucking love that name. When I saw that come across my email, I was like, oh hell yeah, what's this going to be like? You know, it's good. It's an endearing. It's like.
Yeah. Well, people have a lot of like, you know, like kind of visceral reactions to the name and you know, some people think it's like about like, you know, Marilyn Manson or, you know, My Chemical Romance or like, no, you know, it's you know, in college, I've read just a ton of Southern Gothic literature, which, you know, Tennessee Williams and Harper Lee, and then newer stuff like Anne Rice or that book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, even like Truman Capote, like you know, that whole genre really spoke to me. And back in the mid-aughts when this band was kind of starting and we were figuring it out and we were called something different at the time, but anyway, we made a record called A Southern Gothic. And then as it turned out, somebody else had the band name already that we were called. So we were like, all right, well, what are we going to call it? You know, after, you know, 6 hours, you know, driving between gigs and, you know, whatever on the highway, batting names back and forth. I don't even remember who it was. Somebody was like, you know, what if we were the Southern Gothic? And at the time, the label was like, that sounds great, but you have to be Connor Christian and Southern Gothic because
of
you know,
Southern Gothic was already.
Well, no, they were very, no, that, you know, like that label, when we signed with them, they were very, it was very clear that they didn't like have plans for the band to be together long. If like, if something had happened, you know, like that we started to take some success, there was going to be a solo record immediately.
Okay. So they weren't
even like, yeah, they weren't even slick about it. They were pretty like upfront about it. So
when this falls the fuck apart, Connor's still going, so fuck the rest of it.
Right? Yeah. Well, you know, it was just like, you know, like, and you know, on some level, you understand there's like five people in the band. There's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of people to deal with, and anytime you can kind of limit your point of contact to one, you know, I understand the instinct anyway. But yeah, you know, and as it turned out. It's, you know, it's been like that. Sean and I, the drummer, and I have been together since 2004. But you know, everybody else has come and cycled through, and you know, we got some great contributions from a lot of different people, and you know, for one reason or another, as time goes on, that relationship doesn't work anymore. Some of it was because, you know, I was here in Nashville, and you know, some of the, you know, our old bass player just wasn't up for the kind of, you know, back and forth thing, and you know, that was totally cool. But you know, but Sean and I have been, you know, the Southern Gothic for a lot of years, and then you know, like I said, we've been lucky to have a lot of really talented people filling out that those other chairs, you know, for whatever length of time they did.
For sure. Well, it's nice. I think that's pretty cool too, because it keeps it fresh all the time, right? Like certainly you and
Yeah.
Sean have great chemistry. You've been doing it a long time. You know each other inside out, everything like that. But if you had, I've never seen what this guitar player can do. What's he got? Or this guy, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. And that's of course like super scary because
Yeah, it's also
however many
nerve
years,
wracking.
yeah, you play with the same people for years and years and years. And um, like when we did get a new bass player, somebody asked for a song from the crowd and it was a big show. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And I just turned around and called it. Like, cause in my head, we all know all the songs. And this was like an album cut from way back. Um, and I just saw this like look of like, horror on Quinn's face. I was like, oh shit, you don't know that one. He's like, I've never heard that song. I was like, all right. I'm like, Jeff, stand over next to him, and call out the chords as you go. So so there's obviously that comfort.
You're gonna
level
learn
that
it
you
right
lose.
now.
Yeah, yeah. And Quinn's a bad motherfucker, man. He will learn it. He will learn it on the spot, and by the last chorus, he'll even have the third harmony on top of it for you.
Nice. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's disgusting. It's really
It's not
disheartening.
even fair.
You're like, come on, man.
You can't pull one past him. Shit. Try harder.
Yep. Yeah. Well, then the other thing with the whole new band is I've been used to for years being like the tall guy in the band. Even when we had Girls in Heels, I was still taller than everybody. Then man, Quinn came in and he was taller than me, and then Yanni came in. He's like 6'5.5". You're like, all right, well, it's like
Now you're the short guy.
Yeah, and I'm the short, and then the drummer's sitting down. So yeah, so now I'm the short guy on stage. It's really, it's rough.
God damn it. That's awesome. So you're talking a little bit about everything you could do pre-COVID in Nashville. How has this bullshit affected your day to day with the writing? Are you able to get into the studio and do stuff? Like I think you guys are open a lot more than we are now. Like we're headed towards another fucking shutdown, I think.
Yeah.
I'm always just curious to see how it's going down there.
Yeah, man. I think it's always a comfort level thing. As far as writing here in Nashville, there for a long time was a lot less writing. I mean, a lot less all year. I think I've maybe written 15 songs this year versus the 150 that I'm used to. Excuse me. Finding people that are comfortable, like getting together in person, and finding people that you feel comfortable that they're being responsible, when they're not around you.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a balancing act. I tried to do Skype rights or Zoom or whatever, and it was just impossible because you try to play together. And it's like, you're playing guitar, so I start playing along, and it sounds to me like we're playing together. But for you, you're like just a little, I'm a little bit behind, and you're like, stop, just don't play, just shut up. And it doesn't encourage, working together very well. So now that we're getting back into it, I'm keeping my group small and working with, some people that I feel, I can be productive with, but also people that I trust are not like, just out like swimming in a sea of COVID every night at maskless in bars. So
yeah, exactly. I don't know, our cases up here in the last couple of weeks, we've jumped up, I think 800% or something. They're saying, like, it's just, so it's like, fuck, we're coming, like what the fuck. But they say, so now the big thing is you can't have gatherings in your home of more than 5 people. So we're a family of 4. So it's like, okay, well, we can't have anyone. We're having one more. That's fine. No problem. But they say, if you want to do that, you have to go to the bars or the malls or whatever. It's like, why don't you just shut the whole fucking thing? What are you encouraging? How are you encouraging people to be safe when you're saying you can't come to your house? Go to the bar. That's fine. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems, it seems like, at least in the States, it's just like a patchwork of nonsense. And, it's like, so this state over here is going to have like a really great guard, but like the state next to it, instead of putting up this like, COVID fence, they've put up like just some like shitty mesh, So like, I was like, I'm not any safer because this guy's fucking it up. So it's like, what's the point, and then I don't know, everybody's frustrated. And I think that, I don't know, one coordinated response, like on behalf of the
Yes.
whole world would just like get it done. Let's,
Just
let's all
one.
suck it up and
Fuck.
just, like everybody go out and buy everything you need for 3 weeks and
That's it.
just stay in your house for 3 weeks.
That's it.
And like, whatever. Oh, burn candles when the power runs out,
Exactly.
whatever.
Yeah. Whatever
3
you got to
weeks.
do. 3
Yeah.
weeks, you got it. That's it.
Just get it done. Yeah. So, but obviously, I don't know, I don't know how, I don't know how people are up there, but there's no chance that any one
Bunch of
response here is gonna, be accepted by everyone.
It's the same up here, dude. It's a bunch of fucking like, well, you can't tell me what to do. It's like, but like not telling you anything. We're asking you, please.
Yes, please just be nice.
Just try
Care
this.
about us too. Yeah.
Well, it's fucked up. Like you got like I know like everybody sits there. All you got to do is go on the internet and read whatever comments on Facebook and shit, and you have about half of them say one thing, half say the other about how, well, I'm not going to get fucking sick. I'm not worried about something that's no worse than the flu and this and that. It's like, yeah, but you look at the drain it puts on the healthcare system. Like in a small place like ours, we've only got so many beds in the ICU, and right now they're full. They're over capacity already.
It's not. I mean, it's not just small towns. Everywhere is full. Like, I mean, like all the hospitals in North America are reaching capacity. Yeah. It's like, what are we gonna do? And I got to worry about my 80-year-old dad who's got Parkinson's, and like, what if while you and your completely avoidable ailment are taking up an ICU bed, what if my ancient fucking father, who's like legitimately sick, needs that ICU bed?
You can't have
You're an asshole. Yeah. Stay home.
Yes, thank you. That's the exact approach we're taking too. It's like, God forbid anybody gets sick, but I'm more worried about the elderly, and of course, like my mom's immunocompromised, so I haven't fucking really seen her since like March. Like I'll talk to her if they come into the city. It's like standing back on the driveway, like hello, like but yeah, I mean, we've been doing the sacrifices, but that's just what it is. Like my kid's doctor said she was happy. She's like, well, I'm glad that you're still taking this seriously because it's getting real fucking bad. And like, do you want to be lonely or do you want to be dead? That's literally verbatim what she said. It's like, well, when you put it that way, it's not so bad.
Yeah. And I've got my fingers crossed that starting in January we'll at least have some people that want to mitigate the thing, the disease here, and I don't hold any illusions that it's going to be some kind of magic bullet, but just having somebody that acknowledges its existence and decides to try literally fucking anything, like anything.
That's right. Like one thing would be good. Yeah.
It's like really like anything that is not encouraging your citizens to inject bleach into their veins. Like I'm really into it. Like I really
like the UV light. I thought that was interesting. I was like, I wonder how people shoved fluorescent light bulbs up their ass and drank a bunch of bleach. Like,
I think they're like I think they're super small, and you inject them, and they're like glow sticks, but really small.
You just break a glow stick.
just fucking shoot back a glow stick.
Just shoot it back. Yeah. Turn the
light
why
off.
Not? Just party.
Why not?
Yeah. Well, we had a saying up here, or not a saying, but our leader, not our Canadian, but our province, our provincial leaders being a fucking idiot. So we say, the way we say it is, they're all out of ideas and they've tried nothing. They've tried nothing, they're out of ideas. So what are we going to do? They've done nothing, but they're all out of ideas.
Right, yeah. I like that.
So we'll see. The main thing is, everybody else that we know stays healthy and just fucking...
Yeah, and then, just keeping my fingers crossed that we'll be able to get out, back on the road by May or June. And
did you guys have a bunch of stuff booked and then it all kind of
twice? Twice, man. We when we had to cancel,
the rebooking came and then it was like, nah, fuck it, it's not happening.
Yeah, and so we didn't bother to rebook it this time, but now we've kind of just cautiously started putting holds on some European dates starting in the beginning of June, and we'll see. And we've been talking to some folks over there, some smaller labels, and we might do a record over there, go over there for a month and do spend, if you still have to do 14 days of quarantine, well, let's go out, house in the country, and let's spend 14 days like getting super tight. We're, getting all the songs down. Then we go do the tour. Then we come back at the end of the tour and do the record. And, this whole crazy cycle starts all over again. You go back to Nashville and talk to everybody in Canada, Australia, UK and Brazil, and then, take my ass to all those places.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Well, at least in the UK, you'd be better off because they actually take it fucking seriously over there.
Some of them.
I know a lot of people in the UK that are just like, yeah, well, if that's what they say, that's it. It's like, well, good for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's how Australia and New Zealand, like they clamp down on that thing. It's funny. Shit. I was talking to I was doing an interview the other night with a guy, and he actually lives in China.
Okay.
He was like, "Oh, they got it, got it under control. Like, I really clamped down and got it." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I could probably pull that off in the States too if they had seen me run over a citizen with a tank. Jesus. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, they say stay in. We're going to stay in.
That's it. Yeah. Well, fuck,
our dear leader, chairman says stay in the house. So, all right,
it. We're
staying in the house. Yeah.
Whatever you want. Nice Don't come at me, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got no fucking tanks though. So
that's right.
It's not an avenue that's available to me. Yeah.
Not yet. Fucking, I remember seeing on the news when it first started to get bad in India, they had the police just like caning people if they came out of their house. Like, get the, like dragging them back, like, get the fuck back. It's like, holy shit. Like, God forbid the people did that here,
It's like, people outside like a prison uprising. Break.
Yeah. It's like, and you see all the memes on the internet that says there was one that always thought when the first lockdown happened, it's like, you're not being asked to go to war. You're being asked to sit the fuck down on your couch and watch Netflix. Take it easy.
Right. And eat takeout. And also, the one, I guess the way that Europe has been able to like really succeed in the way that we haven't is that they immediately came with a financial response to help people get through it. And I don't know what that's been like in Canada. What kind of help you guys got? We got one little blast of help.
I heard what you got, and that's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, right?
Fucking joke, dude. Great. Like the most powerful, I don't know, whatever. And it's no disrespect. No disrespect to the citizens of America. You guys are the shit, but the leadership over there is fucking brutal. What we did was our guy gave us $2,000 a month if you applied. And,
totally reasonable.
It's like that's a fair amount.
And that doesn't, that's nobody living extravagantly. That's like, okay, well, we're going to tighten our belt and we're going to, it's like we make a budget and, there's three of us here. So we got $6,000 and
slap in the face of fucking, here's your one-time $1,200. It's like, why are you hitting up these fucking trillionaires down there not doing fuck all with their money and saying, hey, could you give me, maybe you could just boost up everybody a little bit, give them, a couple grand a month just to help us get through this shit. They'd never freaking notice it.
Well, that's what's been so funny, and especially living in Nashville this week. That after the news that the Moderna vaccine was funded by Dolly Parton.
I heard about that.
Hysterical to me. It's like, it's like, man, Dolly's got to do everything. She's doing your art and
she's
your
getting shit done,
and now
man.
your money.
Come on.
Yeah, come on, man. It's like
she's got Dolly the fucking space program next. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Go Dolly. Yeah, why not? Dolly 2024.
Yeah, she opened up a beautiful restaurant bar here recently. It's cool, man. She's doing it all.
How old is Dolly Parton now? Isn't she like 80 years old?
I'd guess like late 60s.
That's it? Okay, I thought she was way older than that. Well, good for her. That's great. Fucking Dolly getting shit done.
Yeah, man. Curing the world. Like quite literally maybe. That's pretty intense.
That's very intense. Very intense, man. So record out December 4th. I'll give you the last, let's say, 5 minutes here, man. Tell us where we can find you online, how we can support you during these wacky times, and anything you want.
Yeah, man. Well, our website's the easiest place. It's theSouthernGothicMusic.com. And then, we're all the regular places. We're at Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, all of that stuff. And at the Southern Gothic on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, man. So obviously, streaming numbers are everything. So, if you dig past midnight, please, save, pre-save the record and be ready for that when it comes out here on the 4th. Man, if you like it, tell a friend. That's what you can do.
Don't you find that that's such a lost thing nowadays? Like, music is so accessible, it's everywhere, but you don't have buddies saying, "Hey, check these guys out." I found
I
that out
think
here.
that one thing that Spotify has done, while it allows you to find new bands that you might never have found before, it has, it's made it where like music is so much more personal, and people are just looking for what they're into, and it doesn't ever like coincide with what your friends are into, because you're not listening to the same radio stations and you're not making mixtapes. Now, still some people, like, they make their Spotify playlist and they'll post it and their friends will check it out. So I think there's still some of that, but I do think some of that like communal thing that used to be part of the music experience is if not lost, then really lacking right now. So, that's a bummer. But you do what you can, man. And like, if you got friends that are in bands, man, silly stuff you can do, make sure, you went to Spotify and you played their song. Make sure you follow them on Spotify and on Instagram and Facebook. Those numbers make a big difference for us. Make sure when you go check out your buddy's new music video, like that video and put a little comment, say, "You're killing it, bro." Doesn't have to be much, but when the labels come sniffing around and they say, "Okay, well, you've got 40,000 spins on your new video, but like you've got 8 comments and 35 likes. Why?" So it's, well, because I've watched my own video 20,000 times.
Yeah. Honestly, that's all me. So.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's not quite like that, but like just little stuff like that can help. Right now, I know a lot of bands are doing. We're not touring, so I'm not buying 10,000 T-shirts. So we're only doing pre-order stuff. So I have to do it like 6 weeks at a time, and I'll say, "Okay, guys, here's the merch you got from now till December 12th. Anything you order between now and December 12th will ship out on the 15th, so it's there in time for Christmas." But I wait and see how many people order, and then I print those.
So you know what, because you don't want to sit there and say, "Yeah, okay, I'm going to print 10,000 shirts," and then you're fucked.
Yeah, totally. And it does, come back to bite you in the ass a little bit, because people see that they go to order the T-shirt and they're like, "Oh, it's not going to be here for 3 weeks." So then they don't order the T-shirt, and then they don't come back and order the T-shirt, when it's time. And then instead of having 80 T-shirts to print, I've got 26. So do it. Go to the website. Go to my website. Go to your buddy's website. Go to Shovels and Rope, whatever you're listening to. They can use your support. Maybe if it's Bono,
I don't care about the big guys. Nobody should.
I say steal the U2 stuff and make a donation, of like value to like Amnesty International or whatever Bono's promoting this week. Just give a little donation and steal his music.
Yeah, he's not.
But for the rest of us, buying a T-shirt helps. Buying a download from iTunes, but the monetary stuff is great. We're going to do one show, usually a tour for a record like this would be 70 shows for us. We're going to do one show. And so, I just got to keep my fingers crossed that everybody from all of those cities that would have come tunes in. And then, so if I'm coming to Tulsa and I only come once every 2 years, and this little group of people that's excited about it, they're going to all bring a friend. Right. So like, if you're going to go and check out, my live stream, invite a friend over, have a little barbecue or something. I know you can't have more than 5 people. So in your case, invite one friend over. Yeah. but and it doesn't even have to be, in person. A lot of these platforms are offering like watch parties where you can, you can kind of clump together. And so the show will be on this much of the screen, and then the 6 of you watching will be across the bottom, and you can still talk to each other and message each other like while you're all kind of so it's a little bit communal. Just man, like just find the art and find the artist and do what you can, and there's a million of us trying to scrape by, so I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about
a lot of people, man. A lot of people got just completely crushed by this thing, and it's so sad. I've talked to a lot of them on here, and it's depressing. I'm a music fan, and I know that this is how a lot of you guys rely on supporting your families, and
I don't have no other job, man.
Yeah, so I mean,
this is it.
At the very least, if you guys that are listening, you can't, sure, money's tight, everything's tight, we know that, but at least do the social media thing. Fucking a like and a share and a retweet or whatever. It costs fucking nothing. At least do that.
Yeah, and it really does help. Really, I know it seems little, but if 100 people are listening to us, and even 10 of those people go out and watch one of my videos or save us on Spotify, or that's a big difference. And out of those 10 people, maybe 2 of them are going to really love it, and they'll tell a couple more people, and that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm talking to you. That's why I'm talking to everybody that wants to talk and that is into music and wants to kind of get the word out. And man, we couldn't do it without guys like you.
Well, that's what we're here for, man. It's been a whole shift to get podcasters and radio hosts and whatever doing more promo than maybe they have in a long time, because there's a need for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're all the little radio stations that we used to stop by when we got to Fort Worth, Texas, or Calgary for Stampede or whatever, Calgary. Man. Like all those radio drop-ins, those are done. Yeah. Even like the morning shows, in every town's got a morning show, and if you're able to keep yourself sober enough to wake up early enough to do the morning show, most of them will have you if you're coming through town. Yeah, sometimes they plan for the whole band and only 1 or 2 of you show up, but
you're still sleeping.
Change of plans. Good day, Louisville. They'll roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like no, Todd, you're lucky I made it here at all. Just calm down and
thank you. Yeah, let's
start
relax.
The segment.
Yeah. You got 10 minutes before I gotta hit the bathroom. That's it. I'm drunk. Yeah.
Yes. No, I didn't stay sober, Todd. I stayed up all night. You caught me. Yeah. Congratulations.
What do you want from me, Todd? I'm just a man just like you. We all bleed the same.
Well, what's so funny about those morning shows, you go in and do them, and you're just like some band from wherever, and you're in Bend, Oregon today, but then you're in there and it's like the other people on the morning show, it's like this dude from Mad Men, and like it's like what a weird group of people. Like there's like this couple that's got a cookbook out, and and like the next then you see on the segment that their cookbook's actually like #1 on the New York Times list.
The hell? Yeah.
We're all in like it's like, how are we in all in Oregon on this Tuesday morning? This is a weird place to be. So you kind of do miss those moments, but you guys are the podcasters and the whatever the video version of podcasts is that we're seeing so much more of.
Videocast,
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a name for it yet. Vlogcast. I don't like it.
Maybe, yeah.
But either way, I mean, what's going on with all this is really kind of pulling us out of the fire to a degree. That people are looking for places to discover something new, and thankfully, folks like y'all are at least giving us a platform to try to stay relevant and try to keep people informed of what we're doing.
Doing my best, dude. Hell yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Well, it was a pleasure. We'll be in touch. I'll hit you up when the album drops, and we'll maybe get you on here again next month, 2 months, something like that.
Love to do it, man. Well, thanks so much for taking the time.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time, Connor. I appreciate it, dude.
All right, man.
Okay. Take care out there, buddy.